afternoon, everyone. Russ for the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Friday. You've done another week. Congratulations. Give yourself a slap on the back or a pat on the back. You slap yourself, but give yourself a pat on the back for another successful week. Hopefully it was successful for you. Not for necessarily for West Ham, as per usual. And obviously we've got the weekend coming up, but we've got Hammonds Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. 3 stories as per usual. Let's start with a couple of transfers. Let's start with some latest updates. At lunchtime today, I did a sort of round up of all the latest rumours, some random ones, including a World Cup winner who we've been linked with. But apparently West Ham have reportedly made an official inquiry for Valencia midfielder Yunus Musah. According to a report from Plaza Deportiva, West Ham are keen to bring him to East London. We've spoken about him many times. But the article reckons the Hammers have asked about the American midfielder, as have Fulham as well. I mean, this guy I think is brilliant. I think this guy is really good. He's got power, pace, energy. He's athletic. And I think he's got all the attributes that he could succeed in the Premier League very well. He's only 20 as well, so he might not be as good as Deck at the moment, but he's got plenty of years ahead of him. Not as much of a ball player as Rice at the moment, but that's not saying that can't be developed and that can't grow into his game. Still plenty of years ahead of him. He's been capped by the United States 25 times. So, that shows you at 20, that's quite an impressive number of caps already. Stadio Deportivo suggests that the 20-year-old will be available for around 21 million quid this summer. And for that type of money, I think that's money well spent. Generally, I think that's money well spent. So we'll see what happens. But apparently, as he said, a inquiry has been made, whatever that means. Let's talk about a potential out. We've mentioned it, I think it was on Monday, maybe last Friday, but Antonio's potential move to Galatasaray. In terms of an update, Galatasaray director Ida Timur Erda Timur has flown to London apparently for discussions with West Ham surrounding the deal for Antonio. The report states that he will sit down with West Ham officials to discuss the deal, with Hammers asking for around 6 million quid for the striker, while Galatasaray are reluctant to meet that price tag and will try and negotiate it down. Antonio is 33, so, it's... And we paid £7 million for him. We bought him from Nottingham Forest for £7.5 million. So, considering that was, well, we've moved stadium since then. It's not. I think if he was being sold to a Premier League club, I think you'd be looking for a lot more money than that, because you've got the homegrown tax in essence. But I think that's probably all right for a 33-year-old. Maybe a little bit more, but they're reluctant to spend that anyway. Galatasaray are looking to get a deal for Antonio finished as soon as possible, as they want him to be able to feature in the Champions League second qualifying round at the end of July. It does, however, suggest that he will probably be back up at Galatasaray to Mario Icardi, who as well is currently a PSG player, but he was on loan for the Turkish champions last season, and they're keen to look at bringing him in on a permanent basis. Well, the club have decided to act decisively in a deal for Antonio as the process for Icardi is being prolonged. It's a 33, 6 million quid. That can also be invested into another position or means we can offer more for a particular position to be covered. Obviously, we know he's the Premier League all-time goal scorer for us, over 270 appearances. I think the fact that the Turkish club's directors flying over apparently means obviously they're ready to talk Turkey, and it's more along the lines we think it's going to be. So, but look, we'll see what happens. But apparently we've set the price at around 6 million, 5.96 million quid, something like that. And lastly, apparently another Brazilian teenager we've been linked with. West Ham are eyeing up a move to sign Vasco da Gama teenager Ryan Victor, but Barcelona and Real Madrid are also tailing him too, according to the Mirror. The 16-year-old winger is considered to be one of the young teenage jewels in Brazil and has gained more than prominence earlier this year, having won the under-17 Sul-Americana with his country. I think that's the under-17s, like South American Championship, I believe. He made history last weekend when he made his first team debut for Vasco da Gama, and scored in their 2-1 defeat to Internazionale. He became the club's youngest goal scorer in the 21st century as a result. It's obviously, the Brazilian market is a market we've been looking at. Obviously, Rob Newman set up a number of sort of not academies but scouting networks in Brazil. Vasco da Gama, and it was Sao Paulo, I think Flamengo as well. We've obviously been linked to several other players in Brazil. Obviously, we brought Luizão in in January. Was it January? Yeah, probably. And it's interesting to see, we're still interested in other players. Franco as well, we were linked with. But, Victor is a burgeoning young talent, and West Ham should, we should be looking at this guy. He's, as I said, you get them young. I mean, we've actually doing a show tomorrow. No, next might be Sunday, about retro rumors. And obviously, one of the biggest retro rumors and one of the biggest sliding door moments was us maybe not spending another couple of million quid on a young bloke from Santos called Neymar, who then went on to become one of the world's best players. And we dropped the ball with Julian Alves as well when he was offered. Rob Newman offered him suggested him to Moise, and Moise said no, and obviously he's going to be the generational star, I think, in terms of moving forward. We were looking at Darwin Núñez, weren't we? We didn't pay the money up, and he'll, I think, go on to have a flourishing career at Liverpool and elsewhere. So, it's about picking up these guys and just, it's a lottery though, isn't it? So, I don't think he'll cost the world, but obviously at the moment we've got probably bigger priorities at the moment in terms of just filling in the gaps left with Mr. Rice leaving, potentially Antonio leaving. That's what's important. Someone like Victor may well be here in 4 or 5 years' time in the first team, but at the moment we've got a balancing act between getting stuff down for now, for this season, and then looking to the future. Obviously, under Moyes technically finishes his contract in the summer next year. So at the moment, he's more involved in the, maintaining a decent team for this year. Maybe getting off a new contract. Who knows? But that's his priority. We're obviously Stein and Noble, particularly, their priority is next year, the year after, the year after, the year after that. So it's going to be a balancing act. And, and we've heard about, we've heard speculation about sort of maybe slightly differing views on transfer policy, and that's a result of this happening. If Moyes was on and some people are going to shoot, if Moyes was offered a new deal and was here for another 3 years, there wouldn't be as much discrepancy, I don't think, in terms of transfer targets, because everyone was on the same page. Everyone wants a team for now and the future. And so, but at the moment it's not. And unless it changes, you're going to get this all the time. Anyway, that's my 5 cents worth. And that's it, my friends. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Have a lovely weekend. Check out the network. We've got loads of stuff coming up. We've got 15 worst transfers of all time. A little program coming up tomorrow, and I think Sunday we've got the first episode of Retro Rumors with the likes of Neymar and Gordon Banks and Riquelme and Drogba and Pete Petr Cech. Very funny indeed. But anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Players come and go, but the fans remain. Come on, you Irons.